Excitingly. Each year there are more and more participants. There are more and more challenging decisions to be made. And you know, we outsource this to some extent to the VCs to tell us their votes and give us that opportunity. But the bar is getting higher, without question. I mean, the winner this year, Dartrace, is a wonderful example of that, and more participants.
Yes, I would add that we have been doing that for a number of years, and every year we have a larger group of participants, both from a VC point of view, which means that we have a number of new venture firms being created. This year we had 2 or 3 new firms that participated for the first time. And at the same time, the pool of candidates is getting better and better. So I think it's a very good testament for the quality and the health of the European venture capital industry. There are a few events every year that gather people in different exotic cities throughout Europe, ranging from London to Lisbon to Paris. But what this tech tour is all about is really about peer-to-peer learning more than any of the other conferences. So we have several tracks over the course of 2 days, and people can talk freely amongst themselves, because we have a track for CEOs only, and then we have another track for the venture capitalists only, and so people get together and talk about things they couldn't talk as openly if they were all together like they are in other conferences. And then we have this track the second day, which is much more like a conference, but we tend to bring the most impressive companies in the industry, the fastest growing company that have been selected out of the 50 best ones. And those people have some really interesting things to say.
Ecosystems are built by events like this. You know, what are the ingredients of a great venture ecosystem? Well, it's entrepreneurs, it's venture capital, but it's also events like this that actually reaffirm some of the belief systems that VCs have and that entrepreneurs have. And as Eric so eloquently said, you know, this idea of sharing and discussing. You know, I said it at the dinner last night, you know, we're an industry probably not unlike any industry that focuses a lot on what needs to be better and what could be greater and what could be more significant. But sometimes we need to step back and actually realize this is an industry growing very fast, the whole venture community, and actually it's something to be very proud of. Well, something happened around 2008 in the financial crisis, where since then an amazing number of people have become venture capitalists. And these people are different from the historic, but not entirely. Eric's an example a long time ago actually doing exactly what I'm talking about, i.e. an entrepreneur becoming a VC. Historically, the VCs that backed me and my companies were essentially financial people asking financial questions. Since the financial crisis, over 150 new VCs have been created across the whole of Europe, and they're mostly people who have either, like Eric, entrepreneurial backgrounds, or they might have big corporate backgrounds, but in Facebook and Google. And these people, the least they do to companies is give them money. What they actually do is coach, mentor them to success. You agree with that?
I would agree. I would totally agree. I would add one other dimension, which I'm very keen on, which is the level of ambition.
Yeah.
I think what we saw in the early days of venture capital, well, let's say 15 years ago, there was a little bit of a restraint from the entrepreneurs in Europe, which was accentuated by the own investors, the VCs at the time. They would tend to be much more risk averse than this new generation of VCs. Yeah. So what you have now is a much higher level of ambition from the entrepreneurs, fueled by an understanding that this is what you need from this new generation of VCs. So that's how you see companies today like Spotify or Darktrace, that or HelloFresh, that are companies that are becoming world leaders in their sectors, as opposed to be the nice little European cousin that the big US company is going to end up acquiring. When you start investing as a venture capitalist, the very first day, you think, geez, there is one deal, it's fantastic. There may be never another deal, so let's jump on it. And then after a while, you realize that every time you think everything has been invented, everything has been disrupted, there's something even bigger that is being disrupted. So, two elements of answer on that. The first one is, I frankly don't have any idea where the venture money is going to be invested in 5 years, let alone 10 years. But what I'm sure about is that some entrepreneurs are going to find out that there is a bigger opportunity than we ever thought. Yeah. We talked this morning about the transportation industry, the car industry being disrupted. I don't think that any of us that backed the first few ride-hailing companies, the car-sharing companies and everything in the late 2000s, were thinking that we would be disrupting so quickly this $1 trillion industry. But it's happening faster and bigger than we thought. So I think there will be new areas, especially in the agriculture area, the food area, the way we have been treating the planet from an environmental point of view, as we make more progress in understanding some of the underlying technologies, both in biology and technology, hard technology, and looking at the way that consumers are changing also the viewpoint about a number of topics, we think that could be an even bigger area of investment than we have ever seen.
It's a very comprehensive answer, and I would only add one small point, but critical. European venture is just going to get better. We're developing a thesis, again, of which Eric is a master student of, is that venture capital is about accumulation of experiences, and some of them quite painful experiences as you invest in things that don't work out and you have to write those companies off. But as each fund gets done, more and more experiences are gained, and the best groups, not all groups are self-learning, but the best venture capital groups will be learning and will becoming world leading. I believe that in the cohort of early stage emerging VC managers in Europe today, there will be world leaders in the future. Aspiration, 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 and really just go do it.
Yes, and I think it's all about hiring the best team.
Yeah.
So hire people that are better than you are. Don't be afraid of that.